Well, hello, fellow addicts. Welcome back to Addicts Live. I'm Alyssa, your resident head addict, and my co-hosts this week are the Monday morning math man himself, Super Safi,
Hello, hello.
the Medicare man himself, Mr. Patrick,
Just got my first check.
and the everything is awesome, Wookster.
Oh, I want an alliterative name like Safi, the Monday morning math man.
You have to show up on Monday mornings.
Let's see. The What a Wookie Wants Wednesdays Wookster. How's that?
There we go.
We don't even know who that guy is.
I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
This is like a museum piece.
So my apologies that we're starting this show later than usual. I had to take the tiny addict to the doctor this morning, so that was why we're starting late. So my apologies in advance, even though it's only 10 minutes. Come on, what else you guys doing on a Saturday for 10 extra minutes?
Time's relative.
If you're watching this show live, you're waiting for us. So here is your regular reminder for those watching this live. This is meant to be interactive, so share your questions and comments below us here and join in the fun because we have so much fun on this show. And also, please take a moment to answer the poll question this week. This week, we want to know what grade do you give the Love Springfieldian Style event, as we're in the last week of it. So please take a minute to answer if you haven't already, and we'll share our thoughts and the results shortly. And the grades run from A to F. I did not put pluses or minuses in, Pat, but we can give pluses or minuses if that's okay with you.
I need the plus and minus.
I'm the math guy. I need the plus and minus.
Yeah. right.
No, Safi needs like x to the 15th power minus 16 minus y equals q.
Square root of A is...
He would actually have to do it all in code so the people he spies for would know what he really means.
It's true.
Don't worry, I embed code in every post. Question is, can you catch it?
Oh, jeez.
That'd be cool. Now we've got a whole new thread we can put up. It's like Safi spy code. It's like, can you decipher it? Just, you never really put anything in there, but it will create a whole conspiracy thread. That's gonna be great. I like it.
Decode Super Safi.
I like it. Yeah.
The Safi code. So we are in weeks 3. Well, we finished week 3. Now we're in week 4 of the Love Springfieldian Style event. It's a little out there, a little random with these last 2 weeks. You got future stuff, and then you've got dog stuff. It does make sense in the context of everything, but it is kind of not balanced, so to speak. And we talked about that a couple weeks ago about how the stuff is kind of like an excuse for them to throw random things in during an event because this little thread that ties everything together allows you to put extra things in there. So now that we're in week 4, when we're almost finished with it, have your thoughts changed about the event from 2 weeks ago? Joe, you weren't here. But I know you love everything. So I kind of just knew what you were going to say. So you were excited because we got stuff that you asked for 5 years ago. But so I knew that happened. But as far as where we are now, prize-wise, everything, anybody's opinions changed over the last 2 weeks. We'll start with Joe.
I enjoy the type of event, like the mini event format. I think is really great. I think it's easy. Content-wise, I was more A towards week 1 and 2, and now it's like B+ because it's pretty random. Even if it ties to episodes, it's pretty random. Like Shady and the Vamp. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's requiring a lot of redesigning, but honestly, all of it's up in my dump, aka Springfield Heights. Well, I figure out what to do with it. Like 1 or 2 buildings found homes.
Okay.
Like Alyssa has storage, and I have the dump north of the mountains.
Yes, because Wookie needs everything in his town. He refuses to inventory things.
Yes. Well, I've got lots of stuff in my inventory, like decorations, but not buildings.
Pat?
Go ahead and go to Safi because I've got to bring something up as an example.
Saf.
So, yeah, I agree with what the first 2 weeks definitely had much better prizes, in my opinion. In week 3. Week 4, I'm not as excited about, though I am looking forward to getting Gloria. I've been a little bit behind this week. but hope to have her soon. Just unlocked the third prize this morning. But overall, if I had to look at all 4 weeks together, I'm quite happy with the event.
Yeah.
It's nice having a true Valentine's Day event after a pretty long time period.
Yeah, the last one was 2015 or 2014, I should say. So yeah,
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So yeah, I've gone dark. This last bit, which I just finished this morning, by the way, that I was that far ahead, just cruising along. I hadn't really missed much. I really couldn't figure out where to put my weird dog/animal/ beverage or eating thing. So what I did was I moved it into my area, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but if you can see, it's like they're all eating right in front of the Voodoo Hex Lounge. And in my mind, what that is that she's feeding them well before she sacrifices them for a voodoo incarnation. So I couldn't figure out any other reason there'd be animals sitting around eating and having a dining out area. I sure as heck wasn't going to put it near the gas chamber that is in the dog pound. So yeah, it was like, as I wrote about yesterday, I went and actually watched the episode that a lot of this stuff is based on, and it was like, oh man, did I hate that episode. It was just awful. It was just ugly, awful, yuck. So this thing is as close as I can get to making light of sacrificing animals to voodoo. There you go.
So ritualistic
yes
is okay, but
yes,
euthanasia bad.
Yeah, no, I think it's because the difference is you can see how happy they are. They're all being fed. So
but what are they being fed? Are they being fed the other animals that were sacrificed?
We don't know. Pigs will eat anything. That's the thing we know. And if you look at the little animations, it's really pretty funny. You have to watch for a while, but the monkeys like slap each other over a banana, and it's quite funny. But there's no logical place to put that, so it has to be near voodoo.
Put that right next to Lunch Lady Dora's can, and then pulling out the intestines. The animals look so happy.
We could go there. That would be Alyssa's version of animal love. I love it. Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I'd be very sad if there were no more cows.
There we go.
I take cows, gas and all.
Wow. I don't think they gas the cows. I'm pretty sure.
No, the gas that the cows emit and all.
Okay. We're going.
Take the methane.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're going full blown science now. Okay.
Which is not my strong suit. So I'm kind of in agreement with pretty much everyone. The first 2 acts were really good. Now you can hear Riley talking. She's getting ready for her nap. The first 2 acts were really good. The third act was okay. I was actually excited to get the future stuff. I have a future area in my Springfield. It actually encouraged me because I was really excited to get the quantum tunnel, because as I was telling some people in the comments, things need to make sense to me in my town. And I'm like, this future area doesn't make sense. Why is there a future area? So now there's the quantum tunnel. I'm like, oh, well, that's how you get to the future area. Okay, now it makes sense. So it kind of inspired some redesigning in my Springfield. So I moved my future area further away. I had the quantum tunnel set up, so that's in its own area. And I did some other redesigning as well. So I was happy to get that. But this stuff from Act 4, outside of Gloria, will all go in inventory. The animals dining may stay out because it is kind of funny. But everything else, I have no desire for it in my Springfield. So once I'm done, and I'll be done 2 more cycles. So I've got 1 cycle now, and then I've got 1 more, and then I'll be done. Act 4 is kind of...
I put my quantum tunnel next to Mount Carl. So I have my 2 mounds of pleasure, which is, the mounds of pleasure, which is, tongue kiss and contraception heights, which I've already talked about. And then I added this up into the same area. So my whole, Shelbyville is really just an amorphous who knows what it is. Any building I can slop in there that makes Shelbyville look more like a town other than 2 buildings, I'm throwing it in there. So, yeah, Mount Carl, it's kind of like I'm feeding the tunnel into Mount Carl's mouth, because I've never really understood Mount Carl, where you put it. I just know that it earns, 2.5% bonus, so I had to have it, right?
I mean, I did a lot of redesigning. I mean, I know you guys always make fun of my town, but I did a lot of redesigning. Things makes more sense now. I've got a separate area for Shelbyville that you have to go over a little bridge to get there, and I've got Ned's RV on its way out, because I have that because I paid cash for it. So I actually have a ton of Shelbyville items as far as from that event, or not that event, that cash purchase. But I haven't really set up my Shelbyville yet because I am waiting for more stuff. So I kind of just threw stuff over there in some sort of pattern that makes sense, and then I'll figure that out later. But yeah, the event really has inspired me to do more designing, because there's a lot of stuff with it, which is nice. It's not just like random crap thrown here or there that's like inventory. This is stuff that I really wanted in my Springfield. I just think Act 4 is such a letdown compared to the other 3 that I feel like Act 4 should have been Act 1, and Act 1 should have been Act 4, because Act 1, I mean, I understand the arc of the story and everything, that now Snake is telling the last story and how the whole thing ends, but the prizes with Act 1 were probably the best prizes of the event, in my opinion.
Well, as were the premium characters. So I was able to create a mini golf course for Principal Dongle Dinger. Excuse me.
Dongle Dinger.
That's what I like to call it. It's easier. It's just easier to say. Dongle Dinger. Anyway, the bottom line is that I need more golf course stuff. Bring it back, please, EA. I need more golf holes, because my fake golf course looks a little cheesy. And of course, as I mentioned yesterday, I've once again run into the item limits. I am not happy. I am dead in the water. I can't keep designing my course. So give me some more items. Give me some golf course, and I'll be happy. I'll stop besmirching you.
So what Pat's saying is he needs more holes.
Yes, I need more golf holes. Yes. I'm not moving them from my previous country club. I'm not going to do it. So there you go.
So, I mean, does anyone else have thoughts about how this designed, how this all kind of fit in your own town? Like, I know, Joe, you said you threw a lot of stuff in your dump area, but are there other things, even stuff from Act 1, because you weren't around last episode, that you kind of worked into your Springfield and designed to give you more inspiration for that? Or
I mean,
you don't really need inspiration?
The Shady and the Vant building look like houses, so they ended in my suburban neighborhood. They're down by the burlesque house, and then I'm trying to think, like, CBGB sort of like created all my music buildings, moved somewhere that I haven't designed yet, and I've bought more land. Oh, there's so much land. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
There's so much land.
I bought the bottom strip all the way to the right, or like going away from the ocean, and I was like, wow, how am I ever going to fill this up? So
when I bought land, I used to have to buy it to maintain the square or the rectangle, however long it was. But I always wanted to buy a strip and a strip. And now I've just decided, you know what, screw that. And I'm just kind of, because like my future area is just far out now. So I've just kind of like made a little path of land to get there. Same with Shelbyville, because I'm like, I'm not going to use all this excess land around it. And it's just going to be vast open area. What am I going to do with it? So I'd rather have
you know what you could do with it? Golf course. I mean, you could actually
the thing with the golf courses they are premium, and they cost 60 donuts a piece.
That's fine. I'm a farmer.
I'm not gonna buy 600 golf courses. I mean, that's a lot of donuts, whether you farm or not. That's a lot of donuts.
Bring them on.
You don't need 600. You need 18 of them.
Yeah, well, that's right.
True. Yes.
Yeah, but 18 times 60, that's a lot of donuts, but I'll spend it. Yeah, I put my CBGB, I moved things over a little bit, so I have CBGB crammed between the Jazz Hole and Moe's. So it has that kind of rustic, it's kind of a wow. It's kind of an homage to the original Real Deal CBGB, but that was even more cram. That was just a storefront kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, and it's not comic book guy's bar. Sorry, that annoyed me. That was the other thing that annoyed me in that episode. So thank God that they didn't kill Sid and Nancy in that episode. That would have been too much.
Well, in the Simpsons version, they get high on candy. So
I know. No, they're snorting candy. I know. It was disgusting. So anyway,
that
Pixie
wasn't
sticks.
the best Simpsons episode ever.
no.
Probably the second best.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nothing says love like a Tommy gun.
Saf, how about you design-wise? Because I know that you had last episode, we talked about how your Springfield nuked itself, which we think you accidentally did in your sleep.
Yeah. So I initially when land used to be with money, I used to do the same thing as you, Alyssa. Like I would calculate how much I need for a whole strip, and then I'd wait until I had whatever 10.6 million, and then I'd buy the whole strip at once. Right now with the land tokens that are coming out of the Goose Reality real estate building, whatever it's called, Golden Goose.
Yeah, that's run by Doggle Digger's best friend. We're gonna start making up names. We're gonna make the real Simpsons heads go nuts today.
If the listeners don't know what I'm talking about, they're not true addicts.
True story.
Yeah, the Golden Goose building. With it, I'm kind of unlocking all the land. I'm about a couple of weeks away from getting all the land. Once I have that, then I'm going to go into major redesign mode. Right now, I'm kind of plopping things down where I plan where they're going to go. But yeah, I absolutely agree with the where I have no idea where those animals are going to go. They're probably going to end up in my inventory.
Yeah.
And Charles says that I should use the open land. So if I buy all that land, I should use my zoo pieces. Charles, all my zoo stuff is in inventory. I think we've established the fact that I'm not an animal person. So 90% of that stuff is in inventory. And
my favorite type of dog, hot.
There you go.
Wow.
That's a good Simpsons pull right there.
Yeah, I actually have an expansive zoo, and I really liked it. It was fun. But I know I'm in the minority here. I got to imagine.
You're not in the minority. It's probably 50-50 split because I know Wook designs everything.
Also,
yeah,
and it's up by my Harry Potter expansion of Krusty Land.
There you go.
Mine runs right off of the Itchy Scratchy Land hole. It's the giant. I think of you every time I look at it now, Wook, because it's just like this giant entertainment complex that's completely out of control, but it's fun.
I'm aware of those sort of things.
Yes, you are. You live that sort of thing.
I'm telling you that Angelica Button stuff, when I realized it was just like the Angelica Button expansion of Krusty Land, I was like, yes, I'm actually excited for these stupid buildings again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then I put like all my like London stuff off of it, so it's a bit more authentic. So you have the Muggle world and the Wizarding world. I don't know. I'm a mess.
You're like a
You're a pothead.
Yeah, yes, well, that too.
Well,
a Potterhead. I should clarify, a Potterhead.
I'm gonna marry a pothead, so
there you go.
It's true. It's true. So yeah, well, does anyone have anything else they want to say about the event itself? I mean, aside from the fact that it's almost done. I mean, put it this way: it's been 4 weeks. Has it felt like 4 weeks? Has it felt longer or shorter? Like, has it gone like this, or has it felt longer? Like we've been playing this forever.
Perfect. It's perfect because I'm finishing it today, and I really have reached my exact limit of I don't care anymore. Which I usually reach about this time with a 6-week event. So I'm really happy it's 4 weeks, and we'll get something maybe on Wednesday that's different. We'll see.
All right. Look.
I like this format. I hope they stay with it. I think it's good. Not overly complicated for you. And then like you get stuff, and why not like pick 4 episodes and give some stuff from it? Like that gives them, there's 690 episodes right now. I'm sure there's probably 550 they haven't touched yet.
Well, what was crazy is when I did that thing last week with the map, the made-up virtual map by Terry and whatever their friends was. Anyway, bottom line, Yeah, there we go. The bottom line is that there was so many buildings I'd forgotten about that are canon, that are actually in the episodes. They have a lot of stuff they can work on. We are not even maybe a third of the way through all the buildings that are available off that map. It's insane. So characters is getting a little skinny, but absolutely with buildings.
Well, don't jump too far because we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Saf, do you think? I mean, how do you think the timing was as far as this is concerned?
Like I said last time, yeah, this format is great. Each week feels like you're getting something new and fresh. Maybe this one wasn't as fresh as the previous weeks, but still, it was something different. I mean, some people love doggy styles, so.
Alrighty then.
Wow!
Hey, I wasn't going there. I meant. Yeah.
Doggies. Some people like the doggies that aren't hot dogs.
Snoop Dogg from the 90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, each week it's nice. You get a different. It's like a little mini event each week, so I like it.
I mean, for me, I do. I'm just trying to.
Wow, I know.
I'm just trying to.
Wow, did he just dodge out of that? Yeah.
So
from cranky old guys' holes to doggy style in a half a heartbeat, and now we're just moving right on to. Go ahead, Liz.
My job, put us back on the rails.
That's right.
So for me, I do like the 4-week format. I feel like it's like everybody said, it's something fresh, something new every time. From a blogging perspective, it's easy for me to do because I can get everything done, and I'm never short on something to write. From a player standpoint, I'll talk about this in a minute, but I will say that I feel like, and I don't know if it's just because I've had so much stuff going on in general, but I feel like this 4 weeks has been really long. I don't know if I don't think it's the event itself. I just think like, I'm trying to think back 4 weeks ago when this thing started, and I'm like, oh my God, that feels like an eternity ago. So I don't know if it's just because I'm getting old that short periods of time feel like an eternity.
The weather outside.
Or that I've got a crying child upstairs.
If you're getting old, it's actually the opposite, where
I know,
long periods of time goes really fast. You go, oh, we got like 4 years left. Damn it.
It's true. So, I mean, as far as the 4 weeks go, it has felt like it's been, I've got a screaming child upstairs. This is fun. It's been a long time. It's just for me. I don't think the event itself has made me feel like, oh, this won't end. I just feel like look back 4 weeks ago and I'm like, oh my God, that was 4 weeks ago. So, yeah, that's kind of where I sit with that. But let's do letter grades real quick. Starting with Saf.
I'm going to go with a B.
Okay. Pat?
I would have actually given it an A, but then the last episode happened, so I'm back into B land.
Pat doesn't like doggy style.
No, not this one. No.
What?
I give it a Z plus.
We're not allowed to give pluses, otherwise I'd give it a B plus.
You could give pluses.
Oh, I can?
I gave it a Z.
You also gave it a Z.
Not Z.
You're not used to it. Safi's Canadian. It's Z, not Z.
It's Z.
Oh, gotcha. Oh,
he doesn't know what a Z is.
I don't know. We're not allowed to do pluses or minuses.
You can do pluses or minuses. I didn't say you couldn't.
But I changed to B plus.
Yes, I just didn't put it on the poll.
I changed to B plus.
I'm still a B. I'm still a B.
Yeah. B plus.
I'd give it a B plus, a B to a B plus in there. It's been pleasant. It hasn't been fantastic, but it's been pleasant. Reader wise, it's like a dead tie between a B and a C. 38.54% give it a B. 38.54% give it a C.
How many give it an A?
Well, then a D is 11.46. An A gave it 10.42, and only 1% gave it an F.
Oh, that's weird. It's like tied between A, B, and C, D.
Yeah, well, I'm just happy to know I've got an army of 38.6%. I could be elected president. I'm going for it. I'm announcing now.
38.54. You can't be elected on 0.54. 0.64 maybe. 0.54.
So close. I was so close.
We are proud to announce that soon Pat will look more orange.
No.
Pat's gonna intake more Cheetos in his diet.
It's huge. I'm gonna load my Cheetos. It's gonna be amazing. I got my best people on it.
So anyway, a couple of reader comments about the event itself. So Sandy Toe 74 says, "Happy Saturday, guys. The event started out with a bang, but kind of fizzled prize-wise. I did find a place for the animal prizes, so that was a pleasant surprise. They should have made those available in the store after you unlock them, like Christmas prizes. Oh well, maybe they will mix things up a bit more for the next event." Amy says, "This was a pretty good event. All the prizes were quite good, and the dialogue was really funny also. The only thing about these kind of events that I would like to see in the future is the opportunity for bonuts. Otherwise, I don't have any complaints. And as always, I can't wait to see what EA has in store for us next." And Fred says, "For me, this event is all over the place. There are elements I loved and others I can't stand. So all in all, I gave it a C." And Ebron says, "I like the 4-week mini event format, but would like it if the prizes were all tied together somehow so that they would build on each other to make a more cohesive area. It would also be nice if we were working towards better prizes as the event moved forward and more exciting and giving us something to anticipate." So that's kind of like what I was saying before, as far as feels like the Act 1 prizes should have been Act 4, because the Act 1 prizes were good and the Act 4 prizes are meh. So it's kind of like a weird arc. You kind of start off really high and then you just kind of slowly go down.
It's like the Police Academy movies.
Yeah. It's true.
Wow.
Yeah. Nice. There you go.
Wow, Safi, you're doing good today.
Sap's on fire today. He's got some extra pep in his step today.
A lot of travel this week.
So let's talk about what potentially could be next. And this is where we will talk about mini events versus main events. Again, we've talked about this a lot. But so the show has been renewed for 2 more seasons. So we're going to have up to season 32 of this show. What happens beyond that, we don't know. In theory, you would think that they would just let them continue doing it as long as they want. But Disney's buying Fox, so Lord only knows what's going to happen. But at least for 2 more seasons, that means more TSTO, because we've all talked about at this point, it doesn't seem like this game will end as long as the show's on the air, because there's just always going to be content, and they probably have this down to a point where it's pretty inexpensive to make. I would say you guys all agree on that.
Relatively speaking, yeah. I mean, as long as it's making money, that's the key. And they've gotten, I think, from a technical standpoint of how they've done things, I think they've gotten smart about how they do the money part of it, because they are still doing you have to spend money to get X. And I get it. I totally get that. That's going to drive some income that they may not have.
We have not seen that the last 2 events. The last 2 events have been, main events rather, have been bonus donuts when you purchase donuts, which is great. I prefer that over getting something extra. I'd rather spend $100 on donuts and get double the donuts than get some kind of, statue worth 10%.
I think it's a balance, though, because I think the real hardcore whales, if you want to call it that, they want everything, period. Well, and if you can't get it unless you spend money, then there's going to be a percentage of people that spend money.
Well, no, I agree. Yeah, as far as that's concerned, yes. But as somebody who spends money for donuts rather than farm for donuts, I would rather have my donuts doubled by spending the money than getting an object with that purchase. That's me. But where do you guys think we're going to go from here? So we've got 2 more years, the rest of this year, and then 2 more years for this game at least. So where do you think we're going to go from here? We'll probably have a mini event next. Do you think that they'll change that format up? Do you think mini events will stay mini events? Do you think they'll kind of go back to, now that we have multi-events that are like mini events, do you think they'll kind of try a different format with mini events?
I think it's going to stay the same type of mini event. And based on how much bracket battle characters and buildings we've been getting recently, I wouldn't be surprised if they went straight back to the bracket battle, give us Bill and Marty or someone else. I was just reading the retrospective I did a couple last year or the year before, looking at all the bracket battle characters that they brought in, and they brought in tons of male characters, but they hadn't brought a single character from the girls category or from the women's category. And over the past few months or year, we've had several of them: Samantha Stanky, Allison Taylor, Sarah Wagum, Judge Harm. Like everyone's been coming in.
Judge
yeah,
Harm?
wouldn't
Judge Harm?
is Judge
No,
Harm?
not yet.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe it might be a Judge Harm.
We don't know.
He's a spy. I said this from the beginning. He knows things we don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went with the same little mini event category and brought us Judge Harm or Bill and Marty.
Yeah, I mean, I also wouldn't be surprised if we jumped to like a Shelbyville mini event to get the rest of the Shelbyville stuff. I don't think. What are we missing from future stuff? I think we're missing Hugh, right? And anything else we're really missing from the future stuff? Like, I guess Bart's kids, which would be really weird to have in the game.
Yeah, you know my feeling on the future stuff. I'm always disappointed when I see it. I don't want it. I don't care. It blows everything up, time space continuum wise. I'm not happy about it. But I would take a lot of Shelbyville. I would definitely go for that. And EA, if you brought back the opportunity to get a couple of the pay to get them, I would actually pay to get them just to finish out my show.
Well, once this event ends, they should go back in your store if you didn't buy them.
They should.
They were replaced with the bonus donut deals. So once they leave, which is the 19th, they should go back to what they were before, because that's what it's done for every event since. So
right. So I don't have the impound lot. I don't have the impound lot, and I don't. What was the other one? There's a
Shelbyville, Manhattan. That's $100. That's $100 for that, though. I mean, you get the donuts with it, but that's $100.
I have gift cards.
Well, I will tell you this too. I was at Costco this morning. Anyone who has a Costco, go there and buy gift cards today, because for $100 in iTunes gift cards, it's $84.96. You're welcome. What do you think? You kind of look like you're frozen over there.
I don't know. I hope they do Shelbyville stuff. I was trying to think of like the different buildings, but then like I fear they're gonna do future stuff. Although if I want to be happy, they're gonna have zombie adult Millhouse, because that would make me happy. So that'd be okay. And I'd like to get Cretaceous Park, like to put by my zoo. So those would be okay. Or like adult Nelson would be okay. So I mean, the future is not all bad. I'd even be happy with Bart's kids running around with like robot Grandpa Homer. Like I don't know. The space-time continuum is all junky, like in our Springfields. George Washington,
it's completely shredded.
Richard Nixon, who bowls with Bart's girlfriend from the future that he somehow still has feelings for, even though he's never met her, and he's 10. So
I know. I don't know if what's creepier, you know, that storyline, or knowing that there was the whole pedophile bit with the older woman in you know the episode where we've just forgotten all about that. So yeah, I mean, Bart kind of has run a weird gamma of girlfriends. Let's leave it at that. Yeah. Girlfriends and future wives.
Actually, I can't think of her name right now, but the girlfriend that just came into the game, I was a little disappointed by no, not Jenda. It was the little
Nikki.
Girl that who kisses him and then runs off. I sort of wanted more dialogue that played on like the funniness of that relationship, but it just wasn't there.
I wanted both of them to be able to skate in the bowl. I mean, I've got her shredding all the time. She's shredding now 24/7. So she'll have very strong calves by the time she's done with this game.
I love how you say shredding like you're so hip, Pat. I love you.
You know, well, one of us, maybe only one of us, actually used to skateboard back in the day. Used to shred. There we go. There you go. So my first real board was a Tony Alva with tracker tracks and white bone wheel.
I imagine your first board like Back to the Future, where you had to break the box off of it.
No. If you want to go clear back to the very first, yes, we used to take those clamp-on roller skates, pound them out, and put them on a wheel. I mean, on a regular board. But no, the first real skateboard where you could actually ride a ramp or whatever. I had a buddy that owned a skate shop and a surf shop. Nice. And so I got into that when I was like 22 God, 23 is when I started really getting into that side of things, because that all came out. And I lived next to a hill that was this long, nice, great hill that was just a blast. So
I just want to know, as we talked about in the last episode about your calves, how did you skateboard with those calves?
I skateboarded because of those calves. No, I've always had. I mean, they got bigger in college, obviously with football, but yeah, they're substantial. They keep me upright. So
1977 was a different time.
it was a different
1977
time.
or 1877.
Having hung out with you in person, Pat, the way you talk about your calves, I expected them to look like Popeye, but they're just legs.
Yeah. Well, they're substantial. I mean, I think my calves are 22 inches, so they're like the size of most women's waists, or teenagers' waists or whatever. So yeah, they're large.
Okay. Just so you know, Wook, your text message you sent me earlier just came through.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice and late. As far as mini events and everything, so we've got a couple of ideas. Like there's a lot of stuff with this event, this multi-event, that they could expand off into a mini event and kind of just expand on it, kind of like they did with Itchy and Scratchy Land, where right after that they did Poochie's Dog Days. So it was stuff that didn't quite work with that, but they could give us more content to kind of fit in there. So I wouldn't be surprised if the mini event kind of did something like that. I also wouldn't be surprised if the mini event had nothing to do with anything and was totally random nonsense. I mean, it's a little far from St. Patrick's Day to do anything for St. Patrick's Day right now, but I just wouldn't be surprised if we got some off the wall, crazy, nonsensical mini event as well. I know Ebron said she's hoping that they bring back a mini game with the next mini event, because it's been a while since we had one. So those are fun as well. I always am a fan of something that's a little more complicated, because just as a player of the game, I'd rather have something that's a little bit more difficult to figure it out. I kind of enjoy that. Plus, it'll give Safi another post to write. I always like when Safi has posts to write. So as far as main events, though, do we think multi-events, which is what we just did now, are kind of here to stay? Or do you think it'll kind of be something that's interwoven into the game throughout the year? So it might be like a traditional main event, and then the next event might be a multi-event, and then a traditional multi-event, that kind of a thing? Or do you think we're just multi-events of the format for now?
I think this is the traditional. I think this is the new traditional. I think this is the way they're going to go, and I'd be happy for that. Quite frankly, it's just way better than the 6-week, 7-week thing.
I hope this is the way they go. Because I really enjoy this. I don't know if they'll still do 6 major events a year if they switch to this 4-week format. But yeah, I really do hope this is the way they go. It keeps it fresh and allows them to bring in a lot of content.
I mean, since sometimes EA's like plans are unexplainable, like Scientology, they might do something wild, like do this mini event format with 6 things and piss all of us off. That's always in the foreseeable future, but yeah, it's a good format.
Yeah, I mean, I could see these sticking around at least throughout the year until people complain enough about them that they change the format like they did with the last one. But the 4 weeks is nice. The only thing is, with the 4 weeks, we talked about this, Safi and his math. We talked about this, I think, 2 Q&As ago, 2 anniversary Q&As ago, about how the format kind of works out throughout the year, that you've got 6 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 weeks, and it just kind of works. So if you jump into 4 weeks, you're going to have a lot of downtime, to say the least, because they're just going to sneak in. Maybe they'll sneak another event in there, because the way it works now is you've got mini event, main event, mini event starting in January, mini event, main event, mini event, main event, and then it ends in December with a main event. So if you kind of try to sneak something else in there, you're sneaking in either another mini event or another main event, and you're somewhere along the line, you're gonna have a double of something. Is what I think. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because 6 4-week events is only 24 weeks, and so even if you slide, if you even slide 2-week events into the middle of that, every other time, you're still going to be short somewhere.
Yeah, you mean right now?
Look, did you see the look on Safi's face? He went into math mode. There's a little happy smile on his face because he was going into math mode. This is cool.
Well, as it sits right now, if everything stays 4 weeks and then the 2-week mini event, you've got, like Pat said, 24 weeks for the multi events, and then you've got 12 weeks for mini events because they're 2-week events. So that's 36 weeks. You 52 weeks in a year. You know, you are going to be that's a lot of downtime compared to what it was before. Where before it was 6-week events, so that was 36 plus the 12. So you were at 48, and you only had 4 weeks of downtime throughout the year. So. Look, I did math too, guys.
Like,
in my head.
Nobody said there'd be math. I'm already like, boo.
Sandy Toes is shut off.
I'm calling
I think the thing is, if they go to 6 weeks, dingle donger. No, if you go to 6 week, I wouldn't even mind 6-week events if they're 1 week chunks. It's the 2 week thing that is a drag. It's just a drag, you know. It's not 2 weeks of the same whatever is not fun.
And I'm there with you. If multi events were 6 weeks, I would not complain because it's something new every week. It's when you have that and your downtime, like your finish time is really only like 2 days before the next event starts. Most people finish on a Sunday, and you've got Monday, Tuesday. Some people finish on Monday. So it's not a lot of time until the next. Whereas with the main events, the way they used to be, you had 2 weeks. Most people finished like a
first week
in, and you were sitting doing nothing for a week, and it was a lot.
Right.
So, you know, that's kind of where I fall with that as well. Like if they did that, they extended these a little bit longer to give more content a little bit longer. I also wouldn't mind if they brought in some other elements to the multi events as well. Something a little more challenging, not just. I'm okay with not doing the tappables and do this to earn this and do that. I'm okay without those for now, at least. A year from now, I may change my mind, but I'm okay. I think we've had enough tappables in our life for quite a while that I'm okay if we don't have anything to squish for some time. So I'm okay with the way the tasks laid out, but I wouldn't mind if we had, like, going back to Stonecutters, and I say this all the time. I've been saying this for 5 years. If we had something like Stonecutters where it was solve this riddle to get this, totally cool with that. I think that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I want another Stonecutters event.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot more work.
Do you want to Well, I'm okay with that.
No, I'm saying from the programming standpoint. I don't know how big their team is anymore.
Well, you can go back to like when the Stonecutters event happened. I did an entire post about all the stuff from that episode that wasn't in that event. Like you could bring back all the stuff that was in the past and more.
And the only thing we've gotten since is the tunnels. We did get the tunnel system, but other than that, yeah. So I wouldn't mind getting something like that.
And let's be honest, those are the biggest throwaway weird things ever. It's like I use mine as a blimp hanger because it doesn't make sense for anything else. It doesn't go anywhere. It's no real animation. It was just a weird throwaway.
And I didn't buy it. So
yeah, I did.
And you couldn't build anything underneath it or kind of going through it. So that was kind of a bit of a hindrance.
Yeah. Mine's over by my airport kind of weird Woodstock area. So
what do we think? So we do think a mini event will hit us either, because this event, it's weird. This event isn't quite 4 weeks. It's 3 weeks and 6 days. So it ends on Tuesday as opposed to Wednesday. So it's do we think we'll see a mini event Tuesday? Do we think we'll see a mini event Wednesday? I think we've all just realized we're going to see a mini event. So you think they'll give us a day before they launch something new? So
yeah, Wednesday. Because they'll give you time to finish up and buy crap and whatever, I think it'll be Wednesday.
So then the next main event, whether it's a multi-event or a traditional main event, should be in March, because we've got 2 weeks for the next mini event, which puts us, I'm doing a lot of math this week, which puts us the first week of March for this to end. So first week, second week of March. Yeah, second week of March. So what do you guys think? What?
Pi Day.
Yeah, Pi Day. Yeah, so like the main event. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the main event is St. Patrick's Day. We've never had a St. Patrick's Day centered main event. We've had mini events, especially last year. I think it was the Homer versus the 18th Amendment, or the 21st Amendment. 18th. What is wrong with me? Yeah, the 18th Amendment. No, 21st Amendment, 18th. Yeah,
A lot
21st.
of times they folded those into whatever was happening in February. It was like the tail end of some big event. It was weird. You know, that is something that's been an afterthought. I think the very first year was the first year they had something that was really specifically St. Patrick, wasn't it? Like 2012 or 2013.
The leprechaun and the wishing
well. Yeah, all
That
that
was 2013.
stuff.
Yeah, it was, but it was just content. Remember in the old days of TSTO, they used to do the main event, and then you'd get level updates, but then they'd have like these in-betweener events where it was like 6 days or 4 days of just, here's your stuff. You got like a long weekend. Here's all the content. Here's a quest line for it. Have fun. We don't really see those anymore. Those were fun. We also haven't had an episode tie-in. Yeah. We haven't had an episode tie-in this year. No. Yeah, we haven't had an episode tie-in at all this year. So that's interesting as well.
Makes you wonder if there's a something to the theory of the whole Disney taking over mode, you know, where they've stopped associating the actual writers with tie-ins with episodes because they don't want to go there. I don't know. It's deep, I tell you.
So what characters now we've discussed, we've talked about this a few times in the past where we said what character is the main character everybody's going to want now. And I think we all forgot about Mr. Bergstrom, which is kind of funny because I think at the end of the year last year when we did our year in review, we said this and no one, Wook said Zoltroy. But we all forgot about Mr. Bergstrom. So now that we have Mr. Bergstrom, what character do we think will be the main character that we're all going to really want to see coming up?
I don't have one.
Silence falls over the room.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting into the weird. We're getting into the weird weeds now, where the main characters are done. We've done that, and now the sub main characters are pretty done. Now we're into like episode specific favorites, right? I mean, is that accurate, Safi?
I mean,
there's a few. I mean,
no, go ahead.
We don't have Judge Harm.
Judge Harm, Bill and Marty. I mean, like some of the guys I mentioned already. There are a few characters still left that have been part of not more than just one episode and been part of the Simpsons lore for a bit longer. But yeah, we are coming down to more so the one-hit wonders that are kind of left.
Right. I mean, Bill and Marty have been in part of the radio station since it came out. I mean, those of us that have the radio station, they've been involved.
To the radio.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a tie between adult zombie Millhouse or comic book gay.
Wow.
Right? Comic book gay. It's coming up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when's the... Okay, I should know this, but I don't. When is Pride Day?
June.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go. It could be your shot, Wook.
Yeah. And there's that other guy that has the beard that sort of digs on Homer. Like, they could have some fun. That really piss people off, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of donuts, and I admit I haven't bought the ballet thing, or I've got a couple of them that are Harry Shearer I don't have yet, because I do want to put them in a section kind of by themselves, and I'm not sure where. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at maps and figure out where they're going to end up being. So I've got the donuts to buy them. I'm going to buy them before the episode's over. So
yeah, I mean, for me, as far as characters go, there's not one character that's sticking out to me that I really want right now. I still want the damn giant toilet. Bring me the giant toilet. I've been waiting for this thing forever. Half a decade now. Bring me the giant toilet. I have a perfect spot for it. It's still saved. 5 years of waiting for this damn thing. Other than that, I'm pretty good with whatever.
I want it for in-game cash. I want it for like one of those luxury items like your fudge tower and popsicle stick, and I want it for 15 million or whatever, 20 million. But yeah, I want it to be aspiration items and for money.
Be careful. Farmers might yell at you because game cash is very valuable to them. It's more, I would argue, some farmers, game cash is more valuable to them than donuts.
Oh, you mean for buying?
For Bloodmobile farmers and Rat Trap farmers, not for Quickie Mart farmers. I don't care about in-game cash.
No, yeah, me neither. Me neither. I'm on Team Safi on that one. I look at my in-game cash and I'll go, oh, look, I've got like 30 million. Okay, that's cool. What will I do with it? Nothing. particularly now that we get the game token or the land tokens. It's like completely useless to me.
I mean, the other thing I will say too is between Wookiee and Safi, is there anything you guys asked for that was not added to this game right now with this event? Because I was looking back at some What a Wookiee Wants posts from like 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago now. You've had you nailed Vicky Valentine, Chaz Busby, the Shady and the Vamp stuff. There was stuff from all these episodes that you wanted in these in this. It took them 5 years, almost 6 years to do it, but they did it. And staff, you put a ton of this stuff in bracket battles, and boom, it popped into the game. So I think it goes to show that they are listening. I think they've unburied Wookiee from his shallow grave. Yeah.
Or it proves that a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
You're right more often than not. When it comes if you wrote more What a Wookiee Want, if you wrote more posts, they'd have more ideas. I think they're just waiting for you.
If comic book gay or zombie adult Millhouse end up in the game, I'll be like, yes, okay, I agree finally, Alyssa.
You hear that, EA? If you're listening, that's how you get Wookiee on board.
It takes, and we know it takes 3 to 4 months to program something out. So we'll have to watch for this next Halloween on the zombie. I think it's a good shot. We'll start plotting to really throw some shade their way on that, and just say we want the zombie. We want Wookiee zombie.
It strikes me as funny because we haven't had a Valentine's Day event since 2014. In 2014, you wrote, before that event hit, you wrote a Valentine's Day post, What a Wookiee Wants Valentine's Day, and you had all this stuff in there, Vicky Valentine's stuff, Shady and the Vamp, Chaz Busby, all that stuff was in there. And I guess they decided this year, let's do a Valentine's Day event. Where can we get ideas? And they
What Wookiee?
That's the way I interpret it. They took them from you.
What you're saying is, for all the people that gave this a C or a D, it's my fault.
Yeah.
No,
all your
didn't
fault.
Blame Wookiee.
Wanted this in one cohesive event, but I bet you the stuff that you predicted that you wanted in here, people enjoyed about this event. I bet you.
Cool. Thanks,
Although it would have been nice if Vicky Valentine was not 199 donuts, but this is my son telling you need to write more book.
I promise if I had time, you're like, this went so slow, and I'm like, the last 4 weeks, crazy. But that's because there's so much reading and so much due. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't get my life back till March 1st, so I'm really glad that this thing has been easy.
I get mine back this summer, I think.
Well,
but I don't get mine back for 18 years, so.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I've got some of them too. Last night, Tyler hit me in the head with a monster truck.
All you do in that situation is turn around and say, "Good arm, kid. Nice one."
It's those moments where you're like, you're so lucky I love you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So Timothy P, just so I want to get this in there since we were talking about what could be next, says that he wants a return of Whacking Day for the next event. And he finally wants Martin's parents.
That's a good choice.
And he finally wants Martin's parents to join the game. And that's a good canon, regular returning character.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, Martin's parents, that is a good one. Yeah.
So, all right. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add about Valentine's Day? What's up next? Anything?
Is this where we reveal the secret Russian takeover of Addicts? Comrades, unite!
That was our off camera conversation before you showed up.
And Pat was like, all I know how to say is, I would have done it if not for Moose and Squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that what's hilarious is the legacy of Boris and Natasha. When that came out, I was alive. I was a kid, and it was during the Russian, the whole Cuban Missile Crisis. So it was like weirdly political and yet not political. You know, it was just hilarious. Those guys, it was edgy stuff for that era. So
that's what you missed, Liz. This was our whole conversation.
As I said, I was worried about what you three were talking about before I got here. So
that's all.
Now you know.
So the next show is still to be determined, but I think it'll probably be in 3 weeks instead of 2. Pat has some things going on next weekend or 2 weekends from now anyway, and I know everybody's schedules are busy, but not just that. I think 3-2 is going to give us a lot of shows in March, and we're going to be talking about the same things over and over again. So I think waiting till 3-9, hopefully we'll have some good content to talk about. And I know I'm saying 3-9 for everyone outside of the United States. You're thinking I'm saying September 9th or September 3rd. I'm saying March 9th, because that'll give us some more content to talk about as opposed to, just talking about the same stuff over and over again. So I think we'll wait till March 9th. March 9th, hopefully we'll have Pat back to human form. Those Medicare dollars will pump him up.
Yeah, well, I've gotten my second check by then. So the first one, it's funny. I got to tell you, though, this little funny thing about the whole Medicare, or not Medicare, but Social Security, is that when you sign up, they just deposit it into your bank account. And with all the craziness that's going on, I'm like, I don't know, man. And it's like, you don't really believe it. And then I got my first check, and it had a big discount because they nail you for 2 months of Medicare, blah, blah, blah. But bottom line was, it felt like a royalty check. It felt like when you get one of those royalty checks out of nowhere, you go, payoff, baby, for work I used to do. So I'm waiting for it. It's going to be great. Every second Wednesday, just count on it.
Well, you're welcome for those checks because it's coming from my tax dollars. You're welcome.
Well,
we lost Wookie. I don't know where he went.
Gee, I only paid into it since I was.
I know. Well, yours went to cover all the people older than you. So
yeah.
You can tell your mom thank you.
I'm going to start bumping them off. So anyway.
I just want to add to Ebron says she's hoping for a spring garden event with lots of new decor, landscaping items, new trees, bushes with paths, maybe a garden show event. That's a good idea. I kind of like that too. We could use some more paths. I'd like a rock path. I think not just cobblestone, but like actual.
Not going to do me a bit of good unless they bump the item limits. I want more items.
Listen, I still have not gotten a warning.
Oh man, I was so torqued because they've been upping it a little bit, like 100 to 200 items per event, and it kind of gotten out of my mind. And then I was building my golf course, and I went to put flowers and stuff around the sand traps. Click! Congratulations, you've reached your item limit. You must store blah 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 blah. I was like, oh man.
And do streets, roads, paths, boardwalk tiles, etc., count as items for towards your items level? Yeah,
they don't. No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Well, I think boardwalk tiles do.
Oh, boardwalk tiles might. I don't have that big a boardwalk. No, but the streets and other stuff don't. I can make which is what I did. I used dirt for sand traps.
You'd be okay if we got rock roads, some rocks, some gravel roads.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just not the same. I need flowers and trees.
Okay, so we've lost Wookie. So I think that's our cue to wrap this puppy up. So we will see. Oh, Wookie's back.
He's back.
Just the time to say goodbye.
Hi and bye, and then shut off.
Hi, bye.
So we will see everyone in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the rest of the Valentine's Day event, the next 3 days left of it, and have fun. Don't forget, show off submissions are due on Monday, so make sure you send those in so we can see what you've done with Springfield, and we will see everyone in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Bye.